In this film, three families describe the many ways in which they experience the reality of the loss of their parent or partner. The families share how, by recognising their reality now, helps them to live on and grieve better together as a family.
And that's quite often we sort of come back to that idea, what would you say?
Because you sort of take for granted that you're going to have next year, and well, we don't.
Yeah.
It's mainly, our birthday, because our birthday we always go down and give her flowers.
It's the wee tiny things you notice that just sort of, not the big things. To get being normal again.
Yeah.
Feeling that normal again.
Is it different now in a way?
Oh, it's not as fun or nothing anymore.
It's not as fun. In what way?
I don't know, just don't like it as much now.
Christmas time, things like that. Not that it's just those times, but they're the difficult ones, because I think it brings it home to you when everybody else is making plans with their family and and doing stuff like that. It's hard.
This isn't the script that I was expecting for life, this isn't how I imagined it.
I never cry, don't know why. When I found out my dad died, I didn't cry.
You were just shocked. Your hands were on your head and you were like, what?
Don't know.
While I was rolling about the floor.
Crying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually see where that heart is?
Yeah.
A bit down from it, I whacked my head off it.
And you laugh when she says that.
No, but I think it was just an accident. I was going like that.
Okay,
No!
okay.
Then it just turned around and whacked my head.
I was just so confused because Mum and me had the car coming crying. Owen came down the stairs with his hands on his head.
And then Auntie, cousin Leanne came.
And Owen, the cousin Leanne came. We all had to come in here and sit down talking, and I just got confused and went in the kitchen and sat by myself for a while.
No,
Whenever my mum first told me, because I was lying on the sofa in Helen's house, whenever my mum first told me that, I was more in shock than sad. Like, because when you feel that, you feel like they're just like pulling a joke or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Because you wouldn't think that they were being serious, just saying your dad died.
Feels different. Because I don't know, it's like when it was his birthday, guys just went out and I don't know, just wasted his money on us. And then now, it just feels weird.
Because you sort of take for granted that you're going to have next year, and well, we don't.
Yeah.
If you knew now if you knew then what you know now, you probably would have said and done things differently.
And would you think about that? Would that be? Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Hard.
It just gets harder and harder.
Does it?
I find the hardest times whenever you're witnessing something the boys are doing, because you just know she's missing out on that, and they're missing out on her being there to be the mum, and you sort of realise that you're doing your best, but you're not doing as good a job as you would do if there was two of you doing it, or being there, or even in getting to the big school, those sort of things, or becoming a teenager, things like that. Those are the bits that really hit home when I realised this isn't the script that I was expecting for life. This isn't how I imagined it.
So what is it like 4.5 years on? What's different?
Everything. I just don't, if she was here, everything would have changed. It probably wouldn't be in this house anymore, because she loved changing different things. She never liked the same thing for a long period of time. Yeah.
She liked changing the decorations in the house and changing the whole layout. That was her thing.
Yeah.
Her job was she did windows and displays for Marks and Spencer's, so she was into changing things quite regularly. The grief itself is still there, but the grief changes. It's kind of like, I think you get used to something, as in it's part of the normal of your life every day, and so much so you're not necessarily aware of its intensity over time.
Daddy had a flat beside our school. Whenever I was walking up, he always hanged out the window
And whistled or
like,
something.
and whistled and said, "Hi, baby," or "Love you millions" and all. Because we always used to fight and say, "Love you thousands." He said, "I love you millions." I said, "I love you millions and millions." And we went on for about an hour.
Here, I know, yeah.
It's okay. It's alright, you're allowed.
And now, like, I stop and look at it, because, like, he got pink blinds for me, because we shared a room, me, Becca, and one up there, and then
Owen
they're
didn't share
still
room.
there. They're still there, and I look at them,
Yeah.
like, all the time,
Yeah.
whenever I'm walking up to school.
Holly, when you look at those blinds, do you...
I just want to, like, run home. I really don't want to go to school when I look at them.
Yeah. How do you get past those blinds and move on to
think I'll
go
happy
to
bus.
school?
And then I'll get distracted or something else.
All of a sudden you just start to notice wee things that, you know, at the start it's really hurts and it's raw and, you know, it's functioning, where when you move on then a wee bit, you sort of think, oh, you know, simple things like I've got up and got the house clean today, or I've got back to work, or the kids are doing better at school, or, you know, I mean, we had a good laugh the other day. You know, it's the wee tiny things you notice that just sort of, not the big things. Get being normal again.
Yeah.
Feeling that normal again. Takes a while for that to happen.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking back over the few years, any changes, there's a sort of a bit of a guilt in it, but then, you know, there's lots of things that you think that you're removing part of her from the house. You know, when you decide to, you know, do the clothes, and that was one of the big things. It's not, it turned into a big thing, but we didn't think of it as being a big thing because there was just a wardrobe in the bedroom that the clothes were in, and I never went into that wardrobe because that wasn't my wardrobe, so it wasn't that I was trying to avoid it, I just didn't need to. But we kept a suitcase of clothes that we all picked together and some of the jewellery, and then we had all our friends down one night and we had picked some of the clothes and they took them and they would wear them, and their sister and her mum took clothes, and it was very little. I ended up going into the charity shop because we kept a bit and then a lot of the friends took things. So yeah, well, it's giving it away, you feel guilty, but then if somebody, you know, knew her and loved her, has it, and you sort of feel, you know, she'd want that. And she would probably tell us not to be daft or any clothes, because that's quite often we sort of come back to that idea, what would she say? And Mummy would have said, wise up, quite often.
Cut yourself off.
Yeah.
Is that would have been a phrase of ours? When is the worst time for you all?
Christmas and Halloween and all the special events during each year. It's mainly, well, our birthday, because our birthday we always go down and give her flowers, but we give her flowers other times during her, but it's that time because we just remember, and I remember having our parties and just doing a lot of things with her.
Even, you know, going to the grave and doing flowers. At the start, you found that really hard. You didn't want to get out of the car quite often. And then now it's, you know, we'd all go together. So
I think anniversaries is so hard. Even, you know, I think when we were 2.5 years on and it's still horrendous. That's the worst time. You know, that's my wedding anniversary. I hate. It's just awful. And probably for the kids who like Father's Day, you know, it doesn't affect me as much as it affects them, obviously. But then I feel really guilty on Father's Day because I still have my dad. Do you know what I mean? But they don't. And then my wedding anniversary, I feel like that's very personal just to me because it's, you know, I'm the only person affected by that.
Was Sophie born whenever you got married to Dad?
No.
Or was she born after?
Year after, yeah. So, you know, I think things like that are hard to deal with because you sort of feel like that's the things, you know, the celebrations, the times when you should be happy and celebrate and stuff like that, and it's just, that's when you miss them, you know, Christmas time, things like that. Not that it's just those times, but they're the difficult ones because I think it brings it home to you when everybody else is making plans with their family and, you know, and doing stuff like that. It's hard, but we did Christmas Eve this year. I was here by myself, and we did Christmas Day with my mum and stuff and family. But it's the first year and it was fine. I think the worst part of it is the build up and the fear of what you're going to be like in that day. When it actually comes around, it's not that bad. So a lot of it's fear of, am I going to be able to cope with this?
Then it also makes Mother's Days a lot harder for us. Making breakfast.
I make the breakfast, you stand there and ask to help put something in the microwave.
Yep.
Doesn't go very well.